Good morning, everyone. We are live here. Not just me. We are all here. So, guys, type in the chat. Let me know that you're here, where you're joining us from. We're going to get started in a few minutes. And we have a comment in the chat thread, and then I popped it up on screen. We have a journal for you to work through this presentation today. And we would like for you to go ahead and download that journal, the reflection journal. You have to put your email in and then watch for it in your inbox. And then we'll go ahead and get started. Let's give another minute or so for everybody to get started and get logged in. What you're going to do is download this really nice, it's called the Values Driven Designer Reflection Journal. And it's really nicely designed too. So you will want to have this and work through it. If you just want to pay attention, that's fine. You can get that and do it later. We are gonna have a replay available, but I would love for everybody to participate. Go ahead and get that so that you have it while we work through today. And while we're waiting for you guys to go ahead and do that, I want to take a minute and tell you a little bit about Aga and Jenny. So let's go ahead and show that next slide. Artka is one of our Qpractice members that she went through Qpractice when she was taking her NCIDQ exam. And so she is an award-winning designer and entrepreneur, and her degree is in interior design from Milwaukee Area Technical College. So she has her NCIDQ certification, and she is also EDAT accredited. So that's the evidence-based design, correct, Aga?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so she specializes in community building and design for senior living and multifamily. And then both she and Jenny work together as mentors and speakers. They're co-authors of the Brand of View. And Aga is committed to helping design professionals find success as they navigate their own unique career path. So everybody's path that they take through this, through the NCADQ, before, after, and what they want to do, where they want to go is different. And so Aga and Jenny are committed to helping people find what works for you. And then Jenny has her degree interior architecture and communications from University of Wisconsin. And she has been involved in the design industry for 28 years. So she works in marketing. She's the principal of Push Plate Marketing, and she helps her clients identify the unique aspects of a project and share their industry expertise and differentiate themselves in the marketplace. So she is also with Aga, as I mentioned before, mentor, speaker, and co-author of the Brand of You. And so what we are here to do today is work with each of you to figure out what is it that is important to you, where you want to take your career. I guess we're ready to go. Yeah. Okay. Let's have Aga and Jenny take it away. I'm going to pop off screen and let them take over.
Oh, this is so exciting. Yes. Hello and welcome to the Values Driven Designer Workshop. Lisa has mentioned that we have created a companion reflection journal. That link is circulating in the chat. Yes, it may take a minute or two for you to get the message with the link and download it. So have your email tab open and watch for that. But it's totally okay to just jot down answers on a piece of paper alongside or the note app on your computer or your phone or tablet, whatever however you're tuning in, and get the reflection journal later. We only have a minimal amount of time for this today, and we'll try to walk you through each step, but I do feel like there is value in coming back to this tool when you are not distracted, when you have a little bit of focus time and doing these questions. And there are only five questions that we guide you through that will really bring some clarity to what you're wanting to accomplish in your careers. All right, so official welcome. Welcome, everyone. Again, I am Artka. Today's session is all about clarity, alignment, and power, your power. to make career decisions that reflect who you are and what you care about most. Whether you're aiming to lead bigger projects or command higher fees, or maybe you're exploring an entirely new direction in your career, we are going to start at the very core, and the core is your core values. A reminder again before we move forward, we will be referencing the reflection journal. Again, you can follow along and do the questions and jot down your answers along the way, or if you'd like to do it at a later time, you're welcome to do that and just actively listen and participate in the chat. And I'm sure you'll get a lot of this presentation and this experience as well. All right, let's get to it. All right, question number 1. Is everyone paying attention? We want to see some interaction in the chat. I want to make sure that I see this. There are too many windows open. Okay, question number 1. Have you ever said yes to the dress? No, not the dress. Have you ever said yes? Or maybe have you ever said yes to a project or an assignment or a client or even a job, and you immediately felt in your gut that it wasn't the right choice? I'm getting nervous just saying this.
Yeah.
Because I have.
Yes.
Definitely
Me
have.
too.
Yes? No? Please say no. I've never been there. I don't know what you're talking about. In which case, you're the luckiest person in the
Yeah.
world. Yay. Nope. Oh, Sarah. I think you may be our hero. Olivia. Nope. All right.
OMG, yes.
Yes. So follow along. Yes, we definitely have, as have you. In fact, most of us don't burn out from working too hard. We burn out from working out of alignment with who you are, with what you actually care about. And all that comes to your core values, what you stand for. For many of you, we're assuming they are about mid-career. You have some skill, right? You've collected some experiences. You've got a pretty decent track record. But yet you may be feeling like your career is perhaps at some points feeling like it's happening to you, not for you. That could be the feelings of slight misalignment or just not being aware of what's your why and what is the driver behind some of the decisions that you're taking on. So, this session is about flipping that script. It's about putting your values back in the driver's seat so you can build a career that reflects your values, who you are today, and who you want to be in terms of a designer and professional moving forward. So, we're hoping that by the end of this session, you will walk away with not only clarity on what matters most to you, but also how to use that clarity to take strategic and confident next steps. Again, at this point, about midpoint of your career, skilled, credentialed, soon to be credentials. We're keeping our fingers crossed for all of you, those who are waiting for results, experienced designer. That maybe your personal or professional goals have shifted. What you wanted at the beginning of your career when you were starting out may not necessarily be what you're looking for now. You have surely evolved. The longer you practice, the more possibilities in this industry. As Lisa alluded to at the beginning, we know that every one of you will create a different path within this industry for yourself. And for that reason, careers are not linear, especially in a creative field such as interior design. And so your next move may not necessarily be an obvious one. Your core values, therefore, are your compass, not just to make better decisions, but to own your brand. And we'll address the personal brand component in a second here, and lead with intention. So at this point, if you do have the journal, you were able to download it, or if you just have a pad of paper, reference question number 1, where we invite you to set your intention for this session or for this exploration process. What do you want more of in your career right now? What brings you here today to this session? And what brought you here to study and sit for NCIDQ? Identify the moment in your career, in this moment on this day, mid morning or midday, depending on where you are, and then this moment in your career. We'll give you a little bit of time while we're switching slides over. This does not need to be an extensive response. Whatever resonates with you, what's on your mind, jot it down right this moment. And while you're doing that, I will let Jenny take over and walk you through the very definition and the foundational information for the brand of you, which is the title of our book. Yeah, and I will continue to watch the chat.
So in our book, The Brand of You, the ultimate guide for an interior designer's career journey, we offer guidance on personal branding, networking, and strategic career development. So we really believe in committing time and energy and understanding, developing, and promoting the brand of you. And we want you to understand that will help you navigate your career journey with confidence, preparedness, and optimism. So what is a personal brand? The brand of you is who you are and your promise to the world. It is what you will stand up for and what you will stand behind. We define it as a connection, a relationship, and a promise. It helps you connect with people on a basic level, right? That spark, that first impression, kind of those memorable moments, those hellos, those first meetings. But then it supports you as you get to know people on a deeper level and the types of relationships you form with them. And there'll be different levels of depth with each person that you meet. Solidifying that relationship relies on how your actions support your words. How are you delivering on the promise of the type of person that you say that you are, right? And know that your personal brand is reinforced when the people actually perceive you to be the type of person that you say that you are. In the book, we also guide you on communicating and promoting the brand of you. We want you to really think of this as storytelling. So, what is your story, right? Who are you and what do you want in your career? The reality is that your design story has been evolving since school, right? You've been gaining experiences and they add layers to how you talk about yourself. And that includes what your coworkers and your clients actually say about you. So remember that your brand, your story is when you're sharing your competencies. It's how you highlight your unique personality, your core values, your life experiences. This story that you're building, this is how you communicate how you're different and what you're bringing to the world. The credentials that you are either working on or about to receive add another layer to this story. So the question is, how are you going to use this achievement, these credentials to talk about yourself? And how has this achievement impacted your goals? How is it changing what you want to go after next in your career? So, your core values are one of the factors that shape the brand of you. We'll like to think of them as career accelerators. That is how you differentiate yourself. It may actually influence the type of credentials that you pursue, and it even helps you position your worth within an organization. When it comes to your values, whether you are aware of it or not, they have been informing your career decisions all along the way. Those moments like something feels just a little off or something feels so good, it's that gut check. That's what your values are doing. They're helping you assess your satisfaction with a situation, your work environment, the people you surround yourself with, something that's going on in a project. And we want to make sure that you see that more clearly now. So you've acquired your education, You've been gaining experience. You're going after these credentials. So acknowledging your values is really the next step in taking your career in the right direction for you. Because again, each one of you is going to go in a different way and have all these wonderful things to build your story. So with that, we are going to dig deeper into your core values by, again, working in the reflection journal. And it's going to start with a little internal audit. Think about what values reflect who you are when you're at your best, right? We've provided a list of a number of values, but feel free to fill in value descriptors that are not included there. And what we'd like you to do is circle 5 of them, but then really hone in on and selecting 3 of them because we're going to use those as a filter for the rest of the work in the journal in this session. As you're contemplating this list, what do these values mean to you in your career in this moment? And what do you want to honor the most as you head into this next chapter? And as you're contemplating this, we would love it if people would share in the chat some of the values that are coming to mind for them.
Yeah. So if you're working with the journal, this is question number 2, core values discovery. The page in the journal has exactly the same values as you're seeing on the screen right now. So, for example, for me, and I'm seeing people sharing
Oh,
thoughts and direction, goals. You're welcome for the journal, by the way, in the chat. For me, some things that's always stand out are the very last one, independence. To me, one and the same. Impact, freedom. Recently, it's been balance.
balance. Yeah.
Very much. We're all thinking, how do we achieve that? What does that look like for each of us in the given point of time? Equity, wealth, influence, creativity. That's the bounding value for all of us is the hope. You've
Yeah.
chosen this direction of study and profession because we share a level of creativity that others may not.
Respect for what you do and what you bring to a team.
So part of this workshop is not just identifying these words that they sound lofty, but really doing something about them and connecting them to the feeling, that gut check that Jenny was talking about, that really means something to you. They're not just pretty words on paper. There's a personal attachment to them. Authenticity, that's a big one, especially recently. Sustainability,
Ability.
that's definitely huge as well. Jenny, do you have one or two that
I've
off
definitely
the
right
list
now
that come up?
balance, respect, and
Balance.
recognition are big ones. Independent.
All right. So what we're asking for you is to circle 5 and maybe bring it down to 3 when you're ready. Maybe at this point you may not be. Maybe you take an extra quiet time afterwards to really dig deep and narrow it down. The more narrow
Mm.
your list becomes, the more focused your goals could be. So there's value in paring down if that can be done. But in order for us to move along, we're going to stick with the journal. The next question and the next exercise, number 3, using the journal along we here with you. Number 3, we're calling storytelling when you felt in alignment. So we'll do a little bit of storytelling right now, right along with you. Your values shape your professional identity. We've established that. The work you pursue is driven by your values, hopefully. How you communicate your worth, which is what Jenny was alluding to with the personal brand definition, is very much connected to your core values. And what you attract in the world, right? What you put out there and what returns to you as you express your dreams and desires for your career. And this is when your past can provide some clues. So let's continue again working with the journal. Can you recall a moment in time, a project, an experience that felt really special to you, that felt in your heart and in your gut that you were in the right place? It felt effortless. It felt like everything about it was right. And so when you're going back in your memory, be specific and jot those things down. What was it? What project was it? Where were you? What place was it? What team? Was it big, small, international, local? Was it just you working independently? That was your happy place? Identify the kind of work that you were doing. Maybe it's a part of the design process that you were in and you really enjoyed yourself. You lost track of time. Were there other people involved? Again, what place were you in physically? Was it heads down, independent work? You don't even know where you were? Or was it really environmentally influenced, that whole experience that you can recall? So again, this may take a little bit more time than what we have allotted for right now, but that's the gist of this exercise. Try to recall a moment in time that felt really good in your bones. On the opposite side of the spectrum, as we alluded to at the beginning of the presentation too, can you recall or identify an experience that reveals that feeling of dissatisfaction, right? Or a feeling of disalignment or misalignment? What was that? Where were you there? Can you get some clues and hints pulled out of that experience that will help guide success and alignment for the future? So
That
let
that
me
that memory may have stuck with you a little clearer sometimes.
definitely, which is why, as consumers, for example, right, we resonate so much more with negative reviews than we do with positive reviews. I do have an example, a personal example, and Jenny has a couple too. So while you're thinking, indulge me in listening to my personal story.
Yeah.
I grew up in Poland in a small town, a very small family, not a lot of resources. We were taught frugality, resourcefulness, and grit. Nothing went to waste, and everything had a second life. And when I mean everything had a second life, everything had a second life. Even that pair of jeans that I got to wear when my brother, who is almost 6 feet tall, was done with, and I am 5 feet 4. Everything had a second life. Because of all that lifelong experience, I became very familiar and appreciative of minimalism and intentionality. Years later, after immigrating to the US and having graduated with an interior design degree, I took on a retail job at a lovely home goods gallery here in Milwaukee. I loved the opportunity to learn about retail design, display psychology. I was involved in creating displays for the store. I honed my customer service skills. That was great. We worked with some of the most affluential customers in the area who were seeking luxury, opulence, top design, fresh, beautiful. They would come in frequently to redo yet another area of their home for no particular reason, really, just for fun, not really function or anything else. Needless to say, given my upbringing and my life experiences from childhood, I loved the people I was working with, but I didn't love the waste. The work I was doing was clearly in misalignment with my core values. And that's when I realized that minimalism and intentionality are two of my top guiding principles. And that is that it, I also realized the fact that it is possible to honor those principles in my work. And so I'm hoping that you're able to do that too, to see the very personal connection to who you are as a person, what drives you, and how you can translate that to create and do better work as a designer.
So, one of our favorite parts in the book and from feedback, our readers too, are the career journeys stories that we tell of other inspiring design professionals. And we do that in the book to really illustrate how exciting and full of a million possibilities that a career in interior design can be. So, in the revised edition coming soon, we share the career journey of Nicole Cranon. And you're going to have to read the book to get her full story. But today we want to highlight the impact of nature on the human experience
and the benefits of designing with a biophilic mindset that really fueled her creativity and passion throughout her career. So, what's interesting is even if she couldn't really identify the specifics of it at the time, designing with meaning and purpose was the core value guiding her career moves, guiding continuing educational pursuits she had, and the types of credentials that she was going after. And as she gained different experiences, she really has some amazing design related job experiences. But there was always some moment that where she was feeling a little bit of a disconnect, and or often she was feeling that, and it informed her move from one job to another. And look, when you get to look back on her career, knowing her whole story, it was just pushing her in the right direction to where she is today. So she is the founder of the Biophilic Design Institute, which now aligns her experience, her passion, and her values. So designing with meaning and purpose drives her, it guides her business decisions, and it provides inspiration for countless others who are doing work with her. So that's the cool story. And there's quite a few others in the book and quite a few values driven components to those career journeys. As I think about my own career, and I mentioned before recognition, and honestly, that's been guiding my path for quite some time. And when I really think about it, in the beginning, it was about helping people better understand the value of being of an interior designer. And you may or may not have experienced this when you say what you were studying or what you're doing, and people they have a very narrow view of what an interior designer does. And so just simply by sharing more details about the profession, that's how I was living and breathing recognition in the early years of my career. Over time, it evolved to this desire to help designers and companies receive recognition for their work and contributions to the industry. And so I know the challenges of being a designer and architect and working in the industry. And so I find it very gratifying to help others receive the accolades that they deserve. So there's things like that where some of your values or August's story where there's these deep underlying threads to our decisions, something that's truly at the core of who we are. And sometimes there's values that pop up that may be more situational or could be of a certain time and place in your life. So, an example for me is my decision to start my own business. It was really born out of a necessity for my well being. Earlier in my career, I never had this dream of one day I'm going to be a business owner, but I was in a corporate culture that was just not healthy for me. And I was just starting to feel really burnt out. And this was before remote work was a thing or really even a concept at the time. So my desire for flexibility, independence, control over the type of work I was doing and who I was working with really played a key role in launching me into entrepreneurship. And those some of those things, the desire for independence, the control over my work, they've really informed my commitment to being a business owner for over 22 years now. And there have been times in my career where I've contemplated going back into a corporate environment, and I'm always weighing the pros and cons. And it's funny how that independence, flexibility, control piece outweighs the 401k match and some of those other benefits that you're doing when you're looking at different employment opportunities. Whether it's a time and place in your career or this long-standing thread of a value, there's things to recognize.
I want to say thanks, Amy, for sharing, trying to follow along here. But it sounds like your career and experience story is really interesting and connects with a lot of points that we're making here today, from intentionality and being self aware to later on, we'll also be addressing some points about building or reshaping your network, your support environment. And some of that network does include your client. It doesn't just, it's not just friends, family. All right. So we're going to move along. I hope that you're getting the idea of storytelling when you felt in alignment. Please do come back when this feels a little rushed, and maybe we're interrupting your thinking by giving you all these examples. But so we're going to move along here to other parts of our workshop. So those were a couple examples of how you can successfully realize and align your career trajectory with your core values. Living in alignment with your values is crucial for finding purpose and meaning in life and work. Ignoring them can lead to a sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction. Not on purpose, but I have definitely been there. We won't take a poll on that. We don't need to do that. But again, I think this connects to the very beginning. Your body is your best judge of how things are going and what you're able to take on that feeds your soul and your purpose, as opposed to adding to the baggage that you're carrying every day. Take a clue from how you feel about your work. Is your battery being drained every day? And is it really hard to recharge it on a regular basis? You can and you should do something about it before things become hard to turn around. This is why aligning your career with your values isn't fluff, it's strategic. We really wholeheartedly believe in that. Your values can guide every decision. Okay, so what we have done to this point within the reflection journal and this process of self discovery is we have taken a pulse on what brought you here. We have done a quick analysis on your personal core values as you see them today in a very quick manner. We have looked back to see, can you recall moments where those values showed up in a way that you noticed, or maybe you didn't connect the dots quite yet, but now it's becoming a bit more apparent? We have also asked you, how do you feel today, right? In terms of taking a stand or taking a look at how you're responding or reacting to the workload, to the purpose of your work in the given moment. Your values can guide every decision. For example, if your value is influence, and someone did actually mention that in the chat, you might pursue a path that offers a platform to sharing your ideas. So that be teaching, could it be public speaking? If your value is health, you may pursue additional credentials such as IP, and Jenny has mentioned biophilic design certification with Biophilic Design Institute or any other learning platform. Or if your value is autonomy or independence, I've mentioned that before, maybe it is time to look at starting a business or adding a consulting piece to your experience.
And it's important to understand too, when you're looking at alignment, that it can help you negotiate. And when we say negotiate, sometimes money immediately comes to mind. So it's not just about asking for more money, more time off. It's helping you identify and ask for things that will help you thrive. So if you're interested in taking on more responsibilities or leadership at work, that could just mean asking for more training in a particular area or for new opportunities. But we want to also stress that all of these things, it's not just necessarily happening in the work environment. So more training or new opportunities, it could be happening outside of work. You could be exploring your value set within your community, with charitable organizations, with professional organizations. So exploring your values inside and outside of work, it allows you to gain new experiences that will guide your next step in your career. And part of this exploration includes assessing and expanding your network. In the book, we're all about networking people. We need people to succeed. So, for example, if you are prioritizing sustainability, who in your network can help guide you? Or maybe that person can help connect you to someone else. And understanding the depth of your network, maybe there's someone you haven't talked to in 5 or more years, it's perfect time to reach out and reconnect and say what you're looking to do. So evaluating your network, looking into maybe current organizations you belong to or new organizations that would be in alignment with this value you're exploring, joining it so you can learn more and meet like-minded people and expand your network. So again, people need people to succeed. And an important piece of that is verbalizing and sharing your dreams and your goals with your network. Because the more people that understand what you're going after, the more people that are working with you to help you achieve that, they will be excited to help you, to connect you. They could be in a conversation with you and or with someone else and say, "Oh, Aga really wants to start looking into that. Can I connect you to?" So use your support network to develop, strengthen the connections, develop new ones, help you research, help you explore and head in this new direction.
And just while you're addressing the importance of network in a support system, there's a conversation happening in the chat
Oh,
about career support. And I just love how, though I'm not, maybe I'm assuming, but I'm guessing that we don't all know each other here in the chat, but yet I see a lot of support that's being shared and a lot of understanding,
I'm catching
which
up
is
now. Yes.
which is just so lovely to see. I really do appreciate this. And this is exactly what we're talking about. If you're brave enough, right? If you're clear and self-defined in your purpose and your path and your dreams and your goals, and you share that with the world, all of a sudden people show up to support, give advice, hold your hand, open up their networking book.
Yeah.
Not
I
to
just
say the aging Rolodex term. Do make an introduction or just say, yeah, I've been there too and it sucks.
I think we all probably have endless stories of a person who has been, whether it's personal or professional, a person who has helped us move forward in something. And again, you got to get, there's a lot of great stories in the book about those people connections. And even related to my shift from being an interior designer to be more on the marketing side, there were so many people and conversations and things that happened long before actual action steps. The action steps were talking to people and learning more and spreading the word of what I was going after. So, in the spirit of reflecting on things that are happening, let's get back to the reflection journal and reflect. So, this is a career alignment check in point. And what we'd like you to do is really think about where you are right now and how is your career supporting these values that you brought attention in your worlds. How are you aligned? And maybe think about how are you compromising? Because that's going to reveal if some things need to change. Are there things that you need more of or less of for growth in this direction that you want to head? And we just talked about people. You could also note who can help support that growth. Maybe there's some very specific previous contacts, current contacts, or you're going to have to identify some new people you want to get to know. Making notes of things now is great, but this definitely is an exercise that will take more thought and time to digest because going through this analysis is really, you'd be amazed at how it's going to reveal maybe the next move for you. And for those of you who feel in alignment, you feel good about where things are, please make a note of that too. Think about how you can reinforce that so that state of alignment continues. And there's still opportunities for you in this sense of good alignment to grow your network. There's never stop growing your network. So even when things feel right, know that there's always work to be done. And doing that work can help you sustain that sense of alignment.
Oh, yes. We could do another half a day session on networking, building valuable connections. I love David's comment that not everyone in your network needs to be a designer. Oh my God. That's the
Oh,
most valuable I don't know, additions or individuals for me, for sure, are non-designers. Those are the people who always question what I tell them. Those are the people that ex- they open up my eyes to things, parts of the industry or just world and business that I didn't know, because we operate in a world that's somewhat limited. It's
mhm.
vast, but it is yet limited. So yes, do go outside of the design industry or even construction industry and
Well,
meet people out there.
and Amy referenced to like even reconnecting with professors, going back in your past too can help you see where maybe there was a moment of misalignment, or having those people remind you of things maybe you've forgotten about. Aga and I actually have worked with one of my former professors over and over throughout the course of the book story. So no
And
matter
when
how
it
much
comes
time has
to
passed, yeah.
Yeah, and when it comes to this core value analysis, that may be a super valuable step to go back to your classmates, but
Mhm.
especially your faculty from the school time period. They probably have observations that would give or offer very distinct directional feedback to you, and a lot of clarity in aligning with the right, or seeing the core values that you may not necessarily be able to name yourself, perhaps. But the way you showed up in class, right? The way you delivered or didn't deliver, the way you explored a project, the way you presented, like all the things that you may not necessarily have taken a note of. They did. They definitely did.
Well, and learning what all of those people you haven't talked to for a while, how have their paths gone in new and interesting directions? That's just fun to learn, and it could spark you to think about something else. And Olivia
Definitely.
mentioned relationships with local reps. Yes, that community is a great support system throughout your career journey.
Okay. So we spent a little bit of time looking back, looking at the present moment. Now, the next and the final step of this discovery is looking ahead, defining your your next bold move. So, what is it? What's your one bold move you can make in the next, say, 6 months that brings you into greater alignment with your values? So, back to the reflection journal. This is our question number 5, values driven career path, where we give you space to recall or write down again the top 3 values and try to align your future goal with those values. What is that bold move for value number 1, number 2, number 3? Now, we don't want you to overthink it. This is not, you're not designing your career 20 years down the road. Bold doesn't have to mean reckless, but it does need to mean clarity. Again, bold also doesn't have to mean big and loud. It could just mean being something new to you. It could just mean being a new course of action. It could mean acting or being or finding yourself stepping outside of your comfort zone. A couple of examples. Say that you are a self proclaimed introvert who also values leadership and would like to grow your career into being a team lead or leading a company, being a business owner. What might you want to look at that combines those two personality traits, interest, when it comes to advancement and growth in your career? And then whatever those core values may be that support it on a much deeper level. So, some thoughts to perhaps consider would be finally discussing your needs with your boss. So, that may not be necessarily the most comfortable thing for you to do, speaking up, setting boundaries, asking for what you want. But that may just be that next big, bold move for the next 6 months. Finding time on the calendar with your superior or your team lead, really articulating what you need in order to grow as a designer. Prioritizing small group interactions, because giant conferences and big meetings is just not your thing. Speaking up in meetings, I know that may be uncomfortable for you, but again, we're talking about bold but clear moves forward. How about showing up 15 minutes early to a meeting or a presentation, where you can take a couple breaths, organize yourself, compose your thoughts, feelings, and confidently show up for the client or the project? And lastly, leadership doesn't necessarily have to be loud and visible from the top down. It could mean being a leader in a one-on-one setting. So can you mentor a less experienced designer? Can you take on a colleague that requires a little bit of confidence building and boosting? That will certainly build your confidence level as well and help you help show you that leadership does take different forms.
Yeah, and it could be about asking for more responsibilities or really dialing in on a specific position within the company. But understand that also could mean your current company maybe isn't the right fit. So maybe you want to be director of design, but someone was newly put in that position or someone's been there forever. You may need to start researching new employment opportunities and looking for companies where they have the growth and structure that you think you want to start making some of these next moves. And so your step in this moment could simply be researching and learning more about new companies and the different types of positions at those companies. But again, also remember that you can think outside of the work environment to explore leadership and gain other valuable experiences. Involvement in professional organizations, charitable organizations. For some, it might testing the leadership waters could be heading a committee or co-chairing a committee, hosting an event. Maybe you're ready to take on a board position. Aga and I, and for ourselves as well, know a lot of people who gained leadership experience in ASID and IIDA, rising in the ranks from committees to board positions. Aga was president, and that's where you can gain confidence in your leadership and organizational skills that then can translate to positions within a firm. So a lot of people that held those leadership positions in like our local chapter of ASID are now design directors and team leads. So these outside of the office opportunities can help you build your confidence to grow within the firm that you're with. Or maybe it's what you need to give you the confidence to start your own business. So, what feels like a bold move to you?
These were the 5 steps that we really wanted to guide you through on this values driven designer workshop and through the tool. As we come to an end of this workshop, know that clarity doesn't come in sort of one stride. It does build upon itself moment by moment, decision by decision. The insights you've uncovered here are seeds, and we want you to nurture them, revisit the reflection journal. It's not a one-time done deal. Let them shape the way you pitch a project or say yes or no to the next opportunity, and pursue growth and identify what success looks like to you.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for us before we wrap up and leave each other today? As you think maybe about a few questions, know that Aga and I always want to keep conversations going and networking going. So please connect with both of us on LinkedIn. Follow the brand of you there. You've visited the website to download the reflection journal. Keep in tune with us there. We'll share tips. We'll have new programs and updates on the release of the revised edition of the book. I do want to say one of the things I noticed in the chat was Amy, who in the midst of this said, my values just changed. Yeah.
They probably have not changed, but you realize what the true ones are.
Right. Yeah. Well. And
Maybe
Amy
now
also
you
had
have
a
the name for them. Yes.
Amy also had a question about the comments. Would they be in the replay? I'm going to leave you to be able to access it in the webinar platform for now. But then when we take out the replay, it'll be like a regular video replay that I will send to everybody that registered. So you actually, to go through this again with that workbook after you rolled around some of these in your head, you might be, oh, I really need this.
Yeah, we threw a lot at you. There's a lot of examples and a lot of sort of concepts to open up your thinking. What would be best to do is just hone in and give yourself 30 minutes of quiet time and
Yeah.
go through the questions one more time. And then let us know what you came up with.
Yeah. I mean, all of these, not as a designer anymore, but as a business person with Qpractice, it's the same thing. I'm like, there are things that I have to spend a lot of time doing now that are really not in alignment with me. There's things that I really want to be doing now. And then what steps can I take to separate those out? It's super valuable, no matter where you are.
That's good to hear. I love your previous version of the book. You will love the next version. We've put so many new stories. We're really intentional about what goes in and what comes out, right? We've heard what the readers really enjoyed in the book, and we're looking ahead to address things that are now on people's minds.
Yeah. And we had already talked. We're going to do this again when the book comes out.
We're talking again.
Yeah. So, yeah, Jenny and Aga, when you get that journal, you'll be on their mailing list. You'll be on a Qpractice mailing list. If you don't want to get, we don't want to get the study emails. If you're not doing that anymore, you can just stay in touch with us for events. If you need help with that, just reply and let us know. We'll get that set up. And so you'll hear about events coming up in the future, and that this will be one. So we could do maybe a launch party or something. We could take these and really make it. Yeah. Quite
with a little toast moment for a toast.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, when can we hear about the new book? If you downloaded the journal,
you'll be on my list.
We'll have a direct way to announce when the book in various formats is available. So look out for that, and social media.
Yeah. The current edition of the book is available on Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask.
Yes.
It's on Amazon, or if you go to qpractice.com, you can click it and get it on Amazon, or you can click and get it we still have the previous webinar that you did if somebody wants to get that as well.
Yeah.
So you can get a
that one is a bit more about
the content of the book. Yeah, you could do both. Yeah.
Good. Do you see the question about aligning simplicity with multifamily work?
I'm in a similar field. Yeah, let's brainstorm afterwards. We're at the top of the hour. We probably are going to be closing this session, but for sure, I really do feel like there are alignments and ways in which you can project or honor your core values through the design work and the kind of projects, or maybe the kind of clients you work with. Because there are different developers, right, out there, different guiding principles for building housing. So I think many different ways you can approach that from different angles.
And help support the company. If you work for a company, maybe help support them getting a new type of client. So then that supports the type of work that's coming in.
Yeah, so the books, somebody's asking if they should wait to get a new book. There are different stories that we will be including in the new book. So the stories that are in the existing version are still very much valuable, and they will no longer be in the new version. So get both. They'll look great next to each other, brother and sister on the shelf. So helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Glad you enjoyed it.
Attention. Yeah.
Great. It was fun to connect with everybody this way, and we hope we hear from you after.
Yeah. And I have enjoyed it again. I always have fun doing events with Aga and Jenny.
Thank you to all of our readers, our current readers who are commenting in the chat. We're glad you like the book. All right.
So we're going to say bye now and let everybody get back to work, lunch, or your next meeting, coffee, whatever. But keep these ideas going and then come back to this. So I'll do follow up with the email too. So that'll help get you back into this. Is not something I think that you can just be done with it and you decide it all in one day and have it you need to make that action plan. So I think it'll help you to revisit this one or two times or more